The phone vibrated at 11:47 p.m. One missed call, then another unknown number. I answered on the third ring because my chest already knew the shape of the truth. Your girlfriend, she didn't think you'd leave like that. The voice said, breathless, guilty, drunk on courage she wouldn't have sober. She said you were useful. That's the word she used. The room smelled like rain through an open window. My jacket was still on the chair, the sleeve creased where I'd folded it with care. I didn't speak. Silence makes people confess. She's been laughing about you, the voice continued. 4 months. The dinner tonight. It wasn't an accident. They wanted to see how much you'd take. I closed my eyes. The hum of the city pressed against the glass. Somewhere below, a car alarm screamed and died. Thank you, I said, and I meant it. I hung up before she could apologize. I used to believe love announced itself with warmth. Turns out it often arrives wearing manners. There were memories I kept polished. The first time she reached for my hand in a crowd. The way she said my name like it was a secret. The quiet mornings where coffee steamed between us and the world felt paused. I built a future out of those details. I ignored the drafts. She corrected my stories in front of people. Small edits. That's not how it happened. She laughed a second too long when her friends teased me. They're just joking. She called me sensitive when I flinched. You're smarter than that. I told myself love requires endurance. I told myself to be bigger. I told myself many lies because they were easier than one truth. At the restaurant, the truth stood up and ordered dessert. Her friends took turns. The jokes were polished, rehearsed, about my job, my clothes, the way I spoke. Each laugh landed like a measured tap to test the glass. I looked at her. She didn't stop them. She watched me like a scientist watches a reaction. When I said I was uncomfortable, she smiled and delivered the line that split the room. My friends were just mocking you a little. If you can't handle that, you should go home. The table went quiet, forks hovered, someone snorted. I replied, how generous of you. Then I stood up, grabbed my jacket, left the restaurant with my spine straight and my pulse loud in my ears. She didn't follow. Suspicion doesn't arrive as a scream. It's a drip. I replayed months in reverse. The delayed replies, the locked phone, the way her friends looked at me like I was a shared joke. The nights she came home smelling like a different room. I didn't confront. I observed. Pain sharpens attention if you let it. I noticed how her stories changed depending on the audience. How her kindness was always public and her contempt private. How she needed witnesses. I checked nothing at first. I waited. People betray themselves when they feel safe. Then I started collecting the way a careful man collects matches, one at a time. A message preview lit her screen when she showered. A nickname I'd never seen. A laugh emoji after my name. A shared album. Screenshots. Voice notes. A group chat titled with my initials turned into a punchline. The evidence didn't explode. It settled. Heavy, cold. Something in me went quiet. Not numb. Focused. I stopped asking why. I started planning how. Revenge isn't rage. Rage is sloppy. Revenge is accounting. I mapped her world, friends, work, the places where she needed approval like oxygen, the lies she told to keep each room intact. I didn't expose her immediately. I adjusted the lighting. I let her apologize for the restaurant, not for the mocking, for my reaction. I accepted with a smile that didn't reach my eyes. I started attending again, dinners, parties. I listened. I remembered names. I became agreeable. People mistake compliance for weakness. It makes them careless. I forwarded nothing yet. I archived. I labeled, dates, context, patterns. I made sure the proof didn't look like proof. It looked like truth discovering itself. I reached out to her friend, the one who called me. I didn't accuse. I asked questions. I let her fill the gaps. I recorded nothing. I took notes. I waited for the moment when everything would be in the same room. The climax didn't need a stage. It needed timing. Her birthday, private room, glass walls, everyone dressed for celebration. She loved an audience. I arrived early, calm, smiling, jacket pressed. Halfway through dessert, she raised a toast. She thanked her friends for keeping her sane. She squeezed my hand like a prop. I stood up before she finished. I brought something, I said, my voice steady. Curious faces turned. I connected my phone to the room screen. No drama, no speech. Messages appeared. Not all of them, just enough. A joke about my job. A bet about how long I'd stay. Her voice note laughing. He's useful. The room inhaled as one. Someone whispered my name. Someone else said hers. I didn't look at her. I looked at the friends who'd laughed. At the ones who'd stayed silent, at the ones who'd known. I won't keep you, I said. I just didn't want you to think you were clever. Chairs scraped. A glass tipped and shattered. Her face drained, then flushed, then cracked. She tried to speak. The words tripped over each other. I picked up my jacket. Chaos has a sound. It's not loud. It's confused. I walked out through it. The aftermath was quieter than people expect. She called, then begged, then blamed, then tried to bargain with the version of me she thought she owned. Her friends split. Some apologized. Some disappeared. Some doubled down and burned with her. At work, the stories caught up. Patterns surfaced, doors closed, smiles turned careful. I didn't celebrate. I slept. Weeks later, I saw her across a street, smaller somehow, watching me like a stranger. I nodded once, polite. Final. Betrayal teaches you this: control isn't dominance. It's knowing when to stand, when to leave, and when to let the truth do the talking. I didn't ruin her. I stopped protecting her from herself. That's not cruelty. That's balance. And balance, once restored, is very quiet.